Social media influencer Queen Ibaningo is a heavy user of the internet, subscribing to the services of some of the telecoms operators in the country. Averagely, she says she spends around 50,000 naira monthly, that's roughly $33 on data subscription alone. With the new telecoms tariff hike, she would see her spending on data double.
So I personally feel it's not a good time to actually even increase this tariff. At least this should even be the time that they should even bring it down. You understand? Because people, I think companies, businesses, everyone now even functions on social media. Like me now, my personal business is on social media. And trust me, if it's going to increase, like now it has increased, I even have to even increase my costs because I have to still deliver my services to my clients. So now I still have to increase my cost.
Telecoms operators have welcomed the adjustments, saying it's long overdue. They had been pushing for a 100% tariff hike before eventually settling for 50% with the country's telecoms regulator, Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC.
We'll start with to enable the operators to start providing adequate services to the consumers, stabilizing the networks, and give enough headroom for them to invest in future deployment of infrastructure around the country. Don't forget, the country is not a stagnant country. We have subscriber base actually growing, and the market is actually growing continuously. And this requires continuous investment in infrastructure provisioning. So this will allow the networks to grow and provide more services to the consumer, and also stabilize the existing operations.
Tariffs have actually remained the same in Nigeria for over a decade, even in the face of rising operational cost and inflation. Authorities say the situation is no longer sustainable and that adjustments actually need to be made to close the widening gap between cost of operations and the rates charged for services.
What we've done with them is saying that telecommunication services are now extremely important to our people. So it's not something you can just increase price haphazardly. But also, how do we support them to ensure that these companies continue to stay sustainable? This is a sector that employs about 15,000 people directly, the employees of these MNOs. But also indirectly, I think there's about 500,000 people working in the sector, whether those that are selling recharge cards or any of those services. We have to make sure that the sector continues to stay sustainable. But at the same time, we don't want to inflict pain on Nigerians.
Telecoms providers are required to apply the new tariffs transparently and fairly and educate subscribers on the revised rates, as well as show improvements in service delivery. Nigeria has the ambitious target to attain 70% broadband penetration by the end of this year. But there are concerns that tariff adjustments could make it even harder to attain the target, which had been facing challenges even before the announcement of the tariffs hike.
So it's a double-edged sword, where if you keep it low and these companies are not making enough money to continue to invest, that penetration is not going to happen. But what government is also now doing is saying we will not leave it to private sector alone, which is why we've started the 90,000 kilometers fiber optic network that we want to build. We've been raising the money. We have significant commitments from the World Bank. Our goal is that before the end of the year, that government starts to also lay.
Mobile network operators are expected to begin to implement the new tariff regime sometime in February, but some subscribers' bodies are already threatening a legal showdown, insisting that the 50% hike is too much for consumers to bear. DG Bademasi, CGTN, Lagos, Nigeria.